Good morning, everybody. A quick update on my indoor plants. These are the trees and plants that are not hardy to zone 7B, which is what I garden in. So I brought them inside. I've been moving them inside and outside depending on the weather. Excuse me. I live in Alabama, so it doesn't get extremely cold here, but there are some days and nights when it dips down into the 30s and 20s. So that's why these babies have got to come inside. Just gonna show you really quickly what is still doing all right. Not great, but it's still doing good. This is the papaya. As you see, the fruit is still hanging on, and I've got a couple more fruits over there coming out. Now there are a lot more flowers that I'm actually surprised haven't dropped off, just because it doesn't really have enough light to grow. I do have UV lights put in here, this one and a couple of the ones that I've rigged up. So these are UV bulbs that I put in, plus I have some growing lights over here for cuttings and stuff that I'm trying to propagate, but definitely not enough to help with the fruit production. But since it is winter, I brought it in since it is not hardy to zone 7B. Still looks good, still producing flowers, which, like I said, I'm really surprised that it's doing that for me. You can see all the flowers. Now, I don't know. These two right here that are fruiting are what I feel is the result of me helping it to pollinate. So basically, I took one of the flowers on the side. You can see here, let me see if I can get closer. Most of the flowers have one main flower, which is the big one, and then it sends out two small ones on the side, which I don't know if they're male or female, but I take one on the side and then I help it to hand pollinate. And as a result, these are the two fruits that came from that. Up here, I don't have any bees in here or anything that would assist with the pollination, so I'm not sure if it will eventually drop off. It's supposed to be self-pollinating, so it shouldn't need me, but the other ones that I haven't hand pollinated has actually fallen off. So I guess we will see if it will keep producing. You can see it still has new growth. I'm sorry, it's just like extremely tall. This plant has really shot off, and it's super tall to the point where I can no longer reach the tip of it, whereas before, in the first video, I was able to do that. So still a lot of flowers. Now, I don't know if you've seen the one where I tip prune. You can see right here, this is the node where I tip prune, thinking that it would send out new shoots like this one and a couple more. You can see down here, it's trying to grow from the nodes to send out new ones. So if you tip prune it, it's not going to give you the height, but rather it gives you more branching out. I've really never done it with papaya, but with papayas, you can see this is the node where I trimmed off to tip prune it, and literally the one right next to it just continued growing. So it didn't really help me too much with the height, but I think once it's done pruning, once it's done producing the fruit and the flowers, I might go in and tip it again. Now you can see on this side over here, sorry, I have so much over here that I can't seem to maneuver, but over here, where I tip prune right there, that node, I'm gonna just take this leaf off since it's it's drying out. So where I tip prune it right here, it sent out another node right there. So I'm getting two head with one tree, I guess. And I don't know if you really want to do that because it might take more energy than what I have, but apparently it really likes the chicken poop because look at all the flowers and the fruits and sending out new nodes. So I'm actually really surprised at it. It is currently now about, I would say 8 feet, pretty tall. Also in here is my jackfruit. This is a jackfruit. It's doing really good. It died back when we had that last winter frost in April. So literally it has grown from this new branch just this year. So it's sending out quite a bit of growth. It's probably grown about, I would say, 4 feet at this point in time. You can see here, this is where the old stump was that died off. And then it sent out a new stump, and I've been babying it all the way. So It's doing really good. Also, the other one over here, this is another jackfruit. It's not doing as well, but same thing. See where the main stump is? It died off right there. And then this new stump came off. And I actually tip prune it so it doesn't get too tall, because jackfruit can get super tall. It wasn't doing very well because of the humidity we have here. It didn't really get a chance to dry up, so it root rot, so I had to actually trim it back further than what I would like. But this one is definitely not as like the growth rate. It's not as good as this one over here. I also have my Ruby Supreme Guava. It's doing really good over there. It did send out new buds to try to produce, but again, since I've had to put it inside, all the buds fell off. This is another guava, unsure, of course, the name. Like I said, the tag, all it came with is this. The nursery confirmed it's a guava, which is good, but it has no description. So I'm thinking it's a Mexican guava. I'm hoping it is. I want a green guava. The Ruby Supreme is a red one, and I've done a video on that one. So I would like to have a crunchy green one just to taste and see the difference between the two. So they've been doing really well, sending out new shoots. They actually also sent out some buds, but of course, as I had to put it indoor, the buds are not really performing as well as I would like. There was one I wanted to show you, but I can't find it. Oh, there it is. Okay, right here. Oops. So right there, see that bud? But you can see the side ones. Oh, it's actually fallen off. I can see it. Yep, there it goes. See? It's so sad. I really, really wanted it to grow, but literally, I don't know why it's budding right now in the winter time. Maybe the indoor, it feels warmer, which it is. But I was hoping that it would set its fruit during the summertime so we can get a couple. Hopefully I'll get a good crop in the springtime though. So all the buds are falling off. It's not going to produce for me. See, what else do I have in here? These are my Thai basil. Doing really good. These are all taken from cutting. The main mother plant is outside dying off because of a couple of winter frosts that we've had. Basically everything in here is cuttings that I've taken. This is the Vermillionaire Kufia. It is a hummingbird attractor plant, so I got a couple cutting of that. Got it in. I even have a little tomato plant right there, and a rose cutting right there. So basically everything in here is just mainly cuttings that I'm trying to root, and then hopefully once spring comes I can put it into the ground. Here are some lemon plants over there that I propagated from cutting. Those are banana. This one is not doing very good. It really needs the sunlight. Now, the banana is hardy down to my zone. The only thing is they will come back, but they die all the way back if you leave them outdoor. So anything that is cold-hearted, like the banana, you need to bring them inside, or you need to put them indoor where they don't have that frost that hits them, because once they die all the way back, they have to come back to life, and it doesn't give them enough time to produce fruit. So that's why I brought it inside, so it can still have its growth and it's green, and it doesn't have to start from the beginning. And then that way, hopefully I can get some banana fruit this coming year. Now if it doesn't work, I might just put it outside because it's definitely suffering quite a bit. But it likes to be outside, and I think it's too... Oh, another thing was it was really humid in here, which is why you see the plants moving. I have a fan that finally grew in here, but it got a little bit too humid, and so things in here started molding up. You can see here there's like little peach fuzz down there. So I had to put in some fan to help with the air movement and circulation. If you don't have a big space like this, definitely would be tough to do it when your plants are actually inside the house. So if you have a designated spot, it would be great, because you're going to end up with, you know, like a whole bunch of leaves on the ground, dirt, dust, water running off when you water. So it's definitely not ideal if you just move it inside in a carpeted area. But of course, anywhere where you have cement, or even in your garage, it would be great. Just make sure you have air movement, which I didn't think about because I thought in here would be fine. but apparently not because everything was starting to mold up. Here is the Abutilon. I brought it in here, a couple cuttings I'm gonna grow. You can see here, I have a whole bunch of cuttings I'm trying to root. So as long as they root, it's gonna end up looking like this, and I'll be ready for springtime with more. Now the main mother plants that I have outdoor is still out there. It will come back because it's actually, it'll be hardy, I guess, in our zone, but it'll die all the way back. And then it'll come back fresh from the ground. So as long as you keep the roots alive, it'll come back for you. So it's so pretty and dainty. Tomato plants I brought in trying to hopefully keep it rejuvenated. Basil had to come in, so this is my basil plant. Everything in here, this is the elephant ear I'm trying to root. The mother plant is outside. They will come back as long as the root system is still alive, but these are little pups that I'm trying to grow, so I want to keep them inside. You can see it's struggling a little bit, but the new leaves are coming out looking really good. This is the, excuse me, oh my goodness, angel trumpet. So my neighbor is moving and she actually has the yellow angel trumpet. I only have the peach pink looking one and the purple variety. So she has the yellow variety. So she gave me a whole bunch of cutting, and you can see these guys are doing really good, rooting out really good for me. There's a spider web right there, so I didn't really want to stick my hand in there. So you can see all the new growth that's coming out. This one's doing really good, so I can't wait to see. So that literally would mean I have 3 different variety of angel trumpet. Really looking forward. Hopefully it will survive through. Let's see, what else? The Persian shield, you guys, this plant is beautiful in the summertime. The purple color on it is amazing. Look, I still have bugs in here. I think this is a stink bug right there. So this is Persian shield. I kept a couple, propagated a couple. There's one over there in this corner. Those ones are from cutting as well. And then this is my lychee tree. I'm not sure what's going on with it. Of course, nothing likes being indoor as well as outdoor. But the leaves looks like it's either burnt, so I'm either overwatering it or underwatering it. So I got to troubleshoot that, but it's sending out new growth. So that's a good thing. This is the avocado plant, doing really well. It's looking really healthy. The only thing that I'm having issue with is the stem is brown, like a blackish brown. I don't know if it's got like some kind of fungus. See how it's green over here. And then if you look to where the main stem is, it's brown. So I don't know why. It looks healthy except for a couple leaves, but I would assume that that's because it's indoor. If you know something about them, please let me know. Avocado, there's so many different varieties. I think this is the Haas that I bought from fastgrowingtree.com. It died back quite a bit too with that storm, but you can see it's pretty healthy. This is my rose apple. It's looking healthier than how it was when I got them this beginning of this year, but you can see the leaves looks like it's either moldy from being indoor, not enough air circulation. Some leaves are really curly, so it's struggling as well. But I'm really trying. I need a greenhouse. All of these plants would definitely do a lot better with greenhouse. Now, I don't recommend having all your electrical wires right along where your plants are, but I've got to do and work with what I have. So currently that's there right now. We need to insulate the shed before we can actually do all the electrical work. So that's part of why everything is kind of temporary because of the winter. Once the winter is done and we can properly insulate, then we'll rewire the whole shed and then turn it into a barnuminium. This here is my Kaimito plant. Super excited. It's struggling as well, but it's still green. Super excited for that. I do have a a couple other Kaimito. There's a small one right there. That one's from seed. That one's from seed, and that one's from seed. My chicken had a field day with all these plants. Every time I take them outside, we let the chickens free roam, and they love digging in my pots. So you can see they are suffering really badly. This is a Kaimito. I don't think it's gonna make it. I'm super sad. Had a taste for Kaimito. First time since I've ever been in America, and it brought back so much memory. I decided to buy one or two. I think I'm gonna actually buy a couple more, but right now they're super expensive, and I don't want to buy in the winter time. They're gonna be shipped during the cold weather, and then I've got to figure out how to keep it alive, where if you buy it during the spring and summertime, ideally that would be the best time to buy your fruit trees. But sometimes there's nothing to do in the winter time, and you get the itch, so then you look online and then you start buying things, and then you're stuck in the same situation as I am right now, trying to keep everything indoor alive. So I don't recommend it, but if you must, make sure you have a space, make sure there's air movement, and then of course make sure you have your grow lights. So right now I have 3 UV lights set up. It seems to work better if you have a lamp that's more of this style as opposed to a lamp over there that kind of gives off that light. It's not supposed to be like that, because you need to keep your UV light down to where the plants can get them, as opposed to exposing it kind of the way I have. So we had contemplated about getting the you know, the UV lamp that strings across, but because we're inside the shed, there's really nothing to connect it to. So that's part of why we ended up buying bulbs. Once we insulate this place and then turn it and frame it into a barnuminium, then we can see the rooms I can deal with. But I don't believe that these guys will be in here for another year. The hubby and I are going to work really hard to get the outdoor greenhouse up and going. So everything that is not winter hardy can go into the ground, and then it'll be in its permanent spot. So that's it. Looking forward to it. I hope you guys are having a great day. Thank you so much for watching. I do apologize for not having as many videos as I would like. Basically, I'm at this point where I'm just trying to keep everything alive, and I can't do anything outdoor. Actually, today I mulched the whole entire garden just to keep all the plants excuse me, from completely dying all the way back, and making sure that the roots are stable for the couple more months that we have. What winter we're mid-December, January, February, March. So about 3 more months. But those 3 months we'll have really warm weather, and then we'll have 1 week where it's like really, really cold down in the 20s. I'll be doing the same thing with these guys, moving them inside and outside. It's kind of a chore to get everybody to volunteer to help, but that's why I was hoping that, you know, if there was such a way you can have 1 month of just super cold and be done with it that 1 month, so everything can be in. But this last week we've had weather in the 70s and 50s. So I do have a couple plants outdoor, but these guys are a little bit harder to, well, they're hard to move because of the pots that they're in. But I think this guy needs some water. Anyways, that is it, you guys. I hope you are having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.